Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Sorry I've been MIA for a little while. I got kind of distracted with real life stuff. I need to move my office is the short version, and I've been looking for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months now to try to find a space to move to. And just this week saw one and agreed to move in. So now that that was off, that like big thing was off of my mind, I had to make a whole bunch of plans about how to move things and what I'm taking and all this stuff. So I was just distracted this week. Plus, I didn't really read much. I did finish one book, which I'll talk about. So this big thing, I have a little haul for you. So this is the actual edition of The Count of Monte Cristo. I showed you, I think in my last video, the one before, I wanted to start reading a chunkster, and I picked up my blue little mass market edition of Count of Monte Cristo. Well, it turns out that all the Barnes & Noble editions are abridged, which is listed on one part, like on the second or third title page inside, and nowhere else is it listed. So this is the actual proper chunky 1200 page edition. So I have this now. So finally I can start reading that, because I have, nothing else to read in this house. Anyways, so the one book I absolutely finished, and I really, really liked it a lot, was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. It shouldn't have taken me as long to read this as it did, but it just did. It was really, really good. I like the Greek myths, and I like myths in general, but I would be hard-pressed to name who was which god and who was a parent of whom and who was a father of this. I just don't remember. For a weird reason, Egyptian gods and goddesses, those I know really well. And maybe that's because I was more into that when I was a kid than into Greek mythology. Anyways, so this was not confusing at all to read. A beautiful little love story about Achilles and Patroclus. Is that his name? I always just think of Pat from Schitt's Creek, and Patrick from Schitt's Creek, and Patroclus. Yeah, so I sort of think of David as Achilles, which I don't know if David would be mad at. Probably not. Anyways, this was really wonderful. I never lost track of the story. They all seemed like really real gods and people. It was a little different spin on the war with Troy than I had previously remembered. And I don't know if it's because I watched Hercules, the Disney movie, too much, or if I read different accounts, but it sounds like Madeline Miller based this more on a contemporaneous record than on things written a couple of hundred years afterwards. And I should have prepared more for this, but this is off the top of my head, so whatever, we're just going with it. Anyways, if this is of any interest to you, if you like Greek myths, if you like lovely love stories, and you don't mind a little flowery language, I generally don't mind it. It depends on the writing and the author, like most things, but I really enjoyed this. It was so readable, really, really sucked me in, and I really loved Patroclus and Achilles together. So I'm very happy that I have Circe in one of my to be read boxes in the basement, and I'm going to hopefully get to that later this year, but this was really, really good. So I have a little haul. There's no way to do this. I placed my first order from Waterstones, which I wanted to do for a long time and just haven't, because I'm trying to, not buy books, and I didn't necessarily need British editions of things. Sorry, this is going to be really shaky. I apologize. But since I am judging the BookTube prize, I signed up for fiction and nonfiction. And a lot of the booktubers I follow are British. Like most things in my life, most people are British that I really adore, and most things are British. So I placed orders for a couple of books for the BookTube prize that I am assuming I am going to be reading at some point, since I'm doing fiction and nonfiction. And then I realized that there were other things out there that were either on sale or that I had seen in reviews from people, or so I decided to just place an order This is really heavy box. I have 2 boxes from Waterstones. I guess I should learn not to do this on camera anymore. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Whew. I don't know why, but this box smells like perfume. That makes no sense to me. Ooh, that's right. I forgot some things I purchased. Receipt. Okay. So, let's see what I got. Lady in Waiting by Lady Anne Glenconner. I saw her on Graham Norton a couple of weeks ago, and she was really funny and sharp and charming. And I liked this cover better than the American cover. So I purchased this, and this was on sale too. I think it was only £10, so that's pretty darn good. So Lady Glenconner, who did she, was it Princess? Yeah, she was a maid of honor at the Queen's coronation, as well as Lady in Waiting to Princess Margaret. So she's been a friend of the current royal family for most of her life, and seems like she really had a good time and kind of body, good sense of humor. I mean, I'm so looking forward to this. So Lady in Waiting by Anne Glenconner. Next up, is The Binding by Bridget Collins. And the cover is the same in the US, but there isn't foiling. And I don't know if any of you watch Cody at Cody's Book Corner. You should. She's really lovely. And I love that she talks about mental health stuff so much too, because I can super relate. But look at this cover. I mean, come on. This is beautiful. Yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the back is foiled too. I mean, so I had to get this edition. This was not on sale, and I did not care. Actually, I think I just have one book here for the BookTube prize, and that's my only excuse for placing this order for all these books, but whatever. New books, yay. Next is, both books by Adam Kay. This is Going to Hurt, which is the newer of the two. And no, that's the older one. This is Twas the Nightshift Before Christmas, his newer one. So Adam Kay is sort of a humorous writer. This is about his time as a doctor in the NHS. I think when he was starting, and then maybe after a little while. Obviously I haven't read them, I don't know yet. But I have seen Adam recently on some episodes of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. I think they were from a couple of years ago, but they're new here for us in the States on BritBox. And I got hooked on watching that mashup show and thought he was really funny. And I have seen lots of booktubers in England talk about how funny he is, and they've liked him. So these were both on sale. I think they were £6 or £7 each. So I couldn't pass it up because sucker. So yeah, both of these books by Adam Kay. Then I am a huge sucker for anything Jane Austen. I've only read 3 of her 6 novels and some of her juvenilia, I really like Austen and the Brontes. I know they're not the same, but their works and things related to them. So there are so many spin-offs of Bronte books. There are tons of spin-offs of Austen books, fiction and nonfiction alike, and I will collect them all. I have an entire bookcase over there. I'm trying not to double stack, but I'm going to have to pretty soon, full of Austen and Bronte originals and then things related to them. So when I heard about this new book about Mary Bennet, I really thought, oh yeah, I absolutely need this. Even though I have, I think, 2 or 3 other books about Mary Bennet, one from just a couple of years ago that I have not read, because this is a shameful English major secret. I have never read Pride and Prejudice. I know. It's terrible. I have seen every adaptation out there that is available to stream or rent on DVD, or I think even VHS. I was watching some on VHS in the 90s or something. I've seen every adaptation. I love it. I know the story very well, but I have never read the actual book. I started a couple of years ago and realized that it was not quite the right time for me, and I couldn't really pay attention to it totally. So I'm saving it until I am really in the right mood and I'm really going to read it. Whatever. Anyways, that's to say that I bought this big doorstopper of a book, The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow. I saw her in a little conversation with Emily. Is it Emily or Emma from Book Break UK? She also does Drinking by My Shelf, which is a great channel. I like her a lot. But it was a really good conversation between the two of them. And I prefer the English edition, the cover to the American one. So since I was already placing an order for the very last book, which is coming up, I thought, well, why not just add this too? Because, you know, if they can all ship together and I can save on that, even though shipping was 20 pounds to ship all of these books, which I haven't paid for shipping in such a long time. International shipping, I kind of forgot how much it was. So, oops, whatever. Anyway, so the other Bennet sister, Lord knows when I'll get to this. It doesn't matter. It's now on my shelves. It can just live there forever until I'm ready for it. And then this last one is the whole reason I placed the order. I am assuming this is going to keep advancing in the BookTube Prize finals. It's just the first round. For this first round, I am in the fiction category, and this is not on my list. But based on other booktubers talking about this and its popularity, I am assuming it will just keep going, and that at one point I will be required to read it. That is my excuse for buying this edition, because was it Simon's channel of Savage Reads who talked about this and showed the end pages, and that was what totally sold me. Stop talking about it. This is The Dutch House by Ann Patchett. So this is the Waterstones exclusive edition. That's why I had to place the whole order in the first place. But look at these end pages. I mean, are you kidding me? The back. This is what sold me on the book. It's really stupid, but I am a bit of a book cover slut. Editions and design matter to me. They shouldn't, but they really do. So I am just super, super chuffed to have this. Ooh, and this hasn't even been flicked through yet. Oh, that's such a good sound. So yes, The Dutch House, Ann Patchett. I've never read Ann Patchett before. I have had Bel Canto recommended to me several times because I am a former classical musician. I like books about music, and one of the characters in there is an opera singer, but I started reading it a couple of times, tried, and it just was not the right time. I couldn't get any traction, and I thought, I don't want to force this, because if I do like it later on, I don't want to have a lingering memory. So anyways, yeah. So that is 1, 2, oh God, 3, 4, 5, oh my gosh, 6 books I added to my shelves recently. I don't have space for these, but I will make space for them, you betcha. Yeah. So how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. We had about 5 or 6 inches of snow yesterday here in Wisconsin, and it was really beautiful, like movie snow, like really big flakes. It wasn't too hard to shovel for the most part. Of course, the plows came through overnight and plowed me into my driveway, and all that stuff is like big icy chunks now since it's starting to melt, and I can't lift it with my shovel without hurting myself. So I am stuck at home until my plow guy gets his car or truck repaired and gets me out. It's fine. I have tons of stuff to do, cleaning and reading, of course, as always. But anyways, so that's me. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know what you've been reading, what you've been up to. Have you read any of these books? What do you think? Are you doing BookTube Prize judging? Are you doing fiction, nonfiction? Let me know. I will get back to emailing and comments very shortly. I have to catch up on commenting on some things myself too. So hope you're having a good day, and I will hopefully see you very soon. Bye.